All right, everybody, it's 6:30, so let's go ahead and get started. Good evening. Let's come to order and go on the record, please. I'm Charlotte Mitchell, Chair of the North Carolina Utilities Commission, and joining me tonight by way of WebEx are the following commissioners. When I announce your name, please announce your presence. Commissioner Brown Bland.
Good evening.
Commissioner Gray.
Good evening.
Commissioner Hughes. And Commissioner McKissick.
Present. Good evening.
All right, I now call for hearing. Docket number is G9, sub 722, sub 781, and sub 786 in the matter of the application of Piedmont Natural Gas Company for an adjustment of rates, charges, and tariffs applicable to service provided in North Carolina. By various orders entered in this docket, the Commission has consolidated Piedmont's petition for consolidated construction and redelivery agreement, as well as Duke Energy Carolinas and Piedmont's application for modification and approval of energy efficiency programs with this general rate case proceeding. Before we proceed further, and as is required by the State Government Ethics Act, I remind all members of the Commission of our duty to avoid conflicts of interest and inquire at this time as to whether any member of the Commission has a known conflict of interest with respect to the matters coming before us in this docket. The record will reflect that no conflicts have been identified, so we will proceed. On March 22nd, 2021, Piedmont filed an application with the Commission seeking authority to increase its rates, charges, and tariffs applicable to service in North Carolina. Overall, Piedmont seeks a 10.4% increase in annual total revenues to recover its costs. Piedmont states that the increase is necessary primarily due to its investment in capital to expand its gas distribution system, to better serve current and future customers, and to comply with federal pipeline safety and integrity requirements. Along with its application, Piedmont filed the testimony of expert witnesses Bowman, Cousins, DeCendis, Menhorn, Newland, Powers, Weintraub, and Weisker. The Fayetteville Public Works Commission, the Carolina Utility Customers Association Incorporated, the Carolina Industrial Group for Fair Utility Rate 4, and Nucor Steel Hertford filed petitions to intervene in this docket, which have been granted by the Commission. The intervention and participation of the public staff is recognized pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 6215 and Commission Rule R119. The public staff is the consumer advocate and represents the using and consuming public. During the course of this general rate case, the public staff will conduct an audit of the data underlying the company's request and will make independent recommendations to the Commission regarding the company's request to increase its rates. On May 17th, the Commission issued an order scheduling investigation and hearings, establishing intervention and testimony due dates and discovery guidelines, and requiring public notice. The order scheduled 2 remote public witness hearings to be held on this date by way of WebEx, and an expert witness hearing to begin on September 7th, 2021. The purpose of today's public hearing is to hear from Piedmont's customers regarding their concerns with Piedmont's pending requests or with the quality of the service that Piedmont provides. Before we move on, I'd like to discuss the procedure we're going to follow tonight for this hearing, and I urge each of the witnesses who plans to testify to listen carefully and abide by the procedures I'm about to explain. Public witnesses will be appearing by audio connection only. Commissioners and counsel will be appearing by audio and video connection. Any public witnesses that wish to view a live video of the proceeding may access it on their computers on YouTube, for which a link is provided on the Commission's homepage. However, be sure to mute your computers when you're called to testify to avoid feedback. This hearing is being transcribed by our court reporter, and it's critical that we all do what we can to limit interference with her ability to hear those who are testifying and to hear me. Public witnesses will be called on to testify in the order that they have called in. When it's your turn to speak, you'll be unmuted by the WebEx administrator. You'll hear 2 beeps on your phone line indicating that you have been unmuted. At that time, I'll ask the witness to state his or her name, and I will deliver an oath such that you are giving your testimony under oath. Please pay close attention during the course of the hearing and be ready to respond as soon as you hear the beeps unmuting your phone line. And then again, please state your name and at which point I will administer the oath to you. To ensure that all witnesses have an opportunity to speak, we're going to limit testimony tonight to 3 minutes, as we have done in the previous public hearing. All right, with that, I will call upon counsel for the parties to announce their appearances for the record, beginning with the applicant.
Thank you, Chair Mitchell. Good evening. My name is Jim Jeffries. I'm with the law firm of McGuire Woods, and I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Piedmont Natural Gas Company.
Good evening, Mr. Jeffries. All right, public staff.
Good evening, Megan Yost with the public staff, appearing on behalf of the using and consuming public. Appearing with me is Elizabeth Culpepper.
Good evening, Ms. Yost and Ms. Culpepper. All right, before we begin, any preliminary matters from council? All right, I'm hearing
None from Piedmont, Chair Mitchell.
Okay, hearing none. All right, Mr. McCoy, would you please unmute our first witness?
Oh, hello. Hey, did that work? I had it on mute too.
All right,
Anyone?
sir, would you please state your name for us?
My name is Chris Klenke.
All right, Mr. Clunky. Mr. Clunky, do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I agree, yes.
All right, Ms. Yost, the witness is yours.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Chris Klenke. My address is 12530 Panthersville Drive, Charlotte, 28269.
And are you a customer of Piedmont?
Affirmative.
Did you submit an exhibit that you would like to be made part of the record?
I did, yes. I submitted it to, I believe, Megan.
All right, Chair Mitchell, we would request that exhibit be identified as Klenke Exhibit 1 and admitted into evidence.
All right, Ms. Yost, the exhibit will be marked for identification purposes as Klenke Exhibit 1, and hearing no objection from Mr. Jeffries to your motion, that exhibit will be admitted to the record.
Thank you. Mr. Klenke, do you have a statement that you would like to present to the commission?
Yeah, I do. I mean, as a paying customer of Piedmont Gas, which is a subsidiary of Duke Energy, I'm kind of baffled by the fact that I am locked into this monopoly with I have zero choices to go anywhere else. I either pay for natural gas, Duke, or I pay for electricity, Duke. So no matter what, it's all going up to Duke. They're asking for 10% more. If you Google cost of living increases for Charlotte, let alone the nation, we're talking 1 to 2% for the everyday person. The everyday salary for an everyday Joe is $58,000 per year that they have to balance to try to pay these bills, and now Duke Energy wants 10% more, which if you look at the exhibit I posted was an early financial view of what the cost of natural gas was going to be for 2020 through 2021, which if you look at that, it's projected to have a static gains for this year and a moderate to low gains for 2021. So gas prices are historically down and projected not going to go up any or very minimal over the next 2 years. So I wonder, why are they looking for 10% more? Then I hear, I looked at this docket as much as possible for the little material that I got, and I just thought they were just asking for a general increase, not knowing that they're trying to recoup their cost for providing more pipeline, which I say two things to that. One, why don't you charge the people that are actually building those new areas? Come on, my dad was a general contractor. It costs, we'll say $1,000 to run the line from the road to the house. You spend $1,000 in the course of a now $300,000 in the average cost for a house, that's a drop in the bucket. They can make people that are buying those new. I pay every month, I think it's $10 or more as a facility fee for no reason. This house was built in '96. So if you look at my statement, I said exactly how much that comes out to be over the course of whatever many years this house has been built. I don't have that exact number off the top of my head, but that's pure revenue for them. Why didn't they save that money for when they need to build elsewhere? I also bring up the idea that they're asking for 10% more. If you go look at Duke's board, Just 6 people make $33.2 million a year. 6 people make that amount of money. And the average Charlotte citizen is $58,000. Last year in 2020, Duke's net income was $302 million. That's in the black. So you're telling me that the $65 million that they're asking as proposed change, they couldn't find a way to pull that out of the $3.2 million that they made in revenue last year? I mean, it's like, I'm boggled. I mean, who runs this company that they can't budget correctly? So this is part of my frustration. I mean, the everyday person, you're talking 10% raise over a year, that's thousands and thousands of dollars that they have to now spend extra for gas on their electric bill. I'm sorry, their gas bill. That's months of extra daycare that they could have for their kids or whatever. Not everyone's going to be like, yes, I can totally afford this raise, especially when you're paying $33 million for 6 people, or you're putting in the bank $302 million over last year. So as a commission, you got to start roping these guys in and being like, no, you just can't decide you want a 10% raise to pay for building some new stuff. That's the cost of doing business. You either put that on the people that are looking to build out there. If you're trying to build a house way in the sticks, guess what? You get to pay for that line to go out there. I mean, there has to be a cause and effect here. So that's all I'm asking you guys to do. Like, tell these monopolies that it's Duke Energy, they can't just sit there and decide, oh, we're going to raise everyone's rate by 10%, but pay our 6 people that are our top C staff $33 million a year on there. I am lucky enough that I was able to raise the capital, buy solar panels and Tesla Powerwalls and put in my garage, so I never have to pay Duke Energy ever again. But not everyone can do that. Someone has to stand up for these large companies that throw around money like crazy, pay their executives $33 million, and who knows how much they're paying. I mean, I can look up the financial results and see how much they're paying their shareholders. So really, at the end of the day, this 10%, where is it going to? Is it going to the people, or is it going to the shareholders in Duke Energy's pockets? Their nice, big, giant $302 million pocket. That's where I'm at. I'll leave it at that, but those are the numbers.
All right, thank you, Mr. Klinke. Let me, before we let you go, let me check in with council to see if there are any questions for you.
No questions for Mr. Klinke from Piedmont. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jeffries. Ms. Yost?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay, any questions from commissioners? All right, Mr. Klinke, thank you for your time tonight and for your remarks. We appreciate your being here with us.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Mr. McCoy, would you call, unmute the next witness, please, sir? All right, we have someone on the line with us. Do we have someone on the line with us?
My name's Ann Schrader. I understood that I was going to be 5th in line.
Okay, Ms. Schrader, yes, we can hear you. All right, Ms. Schrader, do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Yost, the witness is yours. All right, Ms. Yost, make sure you're...
Ms. Schrader, excuse me. Ms. Schrader, could you please state your name and address for the record?
Yes, my name is Ann Schrader. I live at 223 Stedman Street in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
And are you a customer of Piedmont?
Yes, I am.
Do you have a statement that you'd like to present to the commission?
Yes, I do.
Please proceed.
Okay, thank you. As a Piedmont natural gas customer and a United States citizen, I'm opposed to customer rate increases for any continued natural gas related services. And I ask that the Utilities Commission deny this rate increase request for the following reasons. Globally, we are living at a time of existential environmental and climate change crisis. Not only are fossil fuels and their greenhouse gas emissions the leading contributors to global warming, but Duke Energy is a leading United States generator, emitter, and polluter of these very emissions. The reality, scale, and acceleration of these destructive pollutants are irreparably impacting the world around us, not just in natural resources, ecosystems, Arctic ice sheets, weather patterns, coastlines, and cities across the planet, but also the health, safety, and security of every person and the generations to come. So dire is this outlook that in 2015, nearly every nation on Earth agreed to a global climate accord to reduce and divest from fossil fuels and their harmful greenhouse gas emissions before 2050. Scientists and current climate change impacts are warning us of the urgency of making sustainable changes now. Therefore, now is not the time to increase rates on citizens and customers already financially devastated by a global health pandemic that's forced billions into unemployment. And now is not the time to force these same customers into continued natural gas dependency through greenwashing new fossil fuel investments as a bridge to renewable energy when they would instead operate for decades and pollute for centuries. Now is not the time to expect customers to continue to pay for environmental remediation for Duke Energy, one of the largest environmental polluters in North Carolina and the United States history. Now is not the time to expect exorbitant rates of return for Duke Energy shareholders at the expense of human and environmental health and well-being. Now is the time, however, for full corporate transparency of clear, sustainable goals and plans that honor versus contradict environmental protection laws and stewardship, and that place human well-being above corporate monetary gain. Now is also the time to transition straight to renewable energy, as we in North Carolina are already leaders in the nation in renewable energy, a state rich in solar, wind, and tidal resources. Solar energy is now the cleanest and cheapest form of energy on the planet, unlike the harmful and volatile aspects of dirty fuels. Solar, wind, and tidal are clean and abundant natural resources that are sustainable and offer healthier, more abundant employment opportunities. That's all that I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Schrader. We appreciate your comments. Let me check in with council to see if they have any questions for you.
No questions for Ms. Schrader, Chair Mitchell. Thank you.
Questions?
All right, any questions for the witness from commissioners? All right, Ms. Schrader, thank you very much for your time tonight and for being here with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. McCoy, next witness, please.
That is it for this evening.
All right, let me just confirm that there are no additional attendees identified. All right, it looks like we have come to the end of our witness list. So unless there are any additional matters from council, I'm not seeing or hearing any, we will be adjourned for the evening. Thank you very much, everybody.